much look forward to having you in the department at Imperial College. So going back to the agenda, so basically I will start by giving a very brief presentation, and it is strictly about the how we are going to deliver our teaching in the next term. And then we will take questions from you using the chat here. So please post your question using the chat column. And then and please already you can start posting questions anytime, but we will start taking questions after the little presentations. And yeah, so let me now switch to the presentation mode here. Let me share my. Okay, sorry, that's not this one here. Sorry. Yep. All right. Okay, so now, so this is a town hall meeting, and this is an opportunity for us to tell you a little bit about how we are going to deliver our teaching, and also for us to listen to your concerns and hopefully address your questions here. Now, so the agenda is, first of all, to address, maybe preemptively in a way, key questions and concerns from our current students, because we have already many interactions with them. So we've already collected a lot of information. And so I hopefully many questions are common to you all. So I will just go through some of the most pressing questions that we encounter. So now, the number one key message is that in bioengineering, our autumn term will be delivered, the teaching in the autumn term will be delivered completely remotely. So many students ask us, why did we decide to offer such a fully remote option? Now, I have this answer here, but I'm going to read it out in full. And basically, future developments are currently unpredictable, and I think we all agree with that. And a remote autumn term is the only robust option, which is also egalitarian and fair. All students are provided with equal opportunities, and we can deliver our programs as planned, irrespective of further development with regards to the COVID pandemic. A remote term is the best option for the delivery of our educational program, given the circumstances. The second pressing questions, why are tuition fees not reduced? Now, our degree will go ahead in the full accredited form, including all hands-on elements and learning objectives. Academic progression will proceed as planned. We still offer the same fully accredited degrees, world-leading employability for our graduates, hands-on research experience, and personal feedback and guidance from world-leading researchers. And also, this is a college decision that the tuition fees are not reduced. Now, so how are we going to deliver our teaching in the autumn term? Well, all lectures and study groups will be delivered via Microsoft Teams and uploaded to Panopto. As per usual, Panopto is just a software where you can it contains a collection of your lectures, so you can go to Panopto and just watch the lectures whenever you like. And so all lectures will be recorded. And live lectures via MS Teams will allow students to ask questions, just as doing in-person lectures. A code of conduct will be provided. So basically, lecturers will be delivering their lectures live, and students can ask questions during those lecture hours. Okay, and we are creating teaching booths so as to ensure consistent and high quality of online lectures and significantly improve on the quality of Panopto recordings. If you've never heard of Panopto recordings before, it's just the usual way of recording lectures at Imperial in previous years. in the past, we always record our lectures and the students are free to watch them how many times they like, at whatever time they like. But now we've improved upon the quality by moving our recording to Teams. So the quality of the recording will be much better. And obviously students can still go to watch the lectures at their own convenience. Now we will make sure that all lecturers and GTAs, i.e. teaching assistants, and will have opportunity to test the system, i.e. we will do dry runs to make sure that people are familiar with the new delivery systems, so that the teaching quality is not reduced. And all hands-on labs have been swapped with hands-off modules, usually taught later in the year. What it means is that in the past, we may have hands-on modules in the autumn term, which we've now moved to the spring term and swapped those modules with some more conceptual-based or lecture-based modules. In other words, there's no change to our curriculum. And yeah, so, and all hands-on labs will take place on campus without a difference in academic load. So the academic load remains the same. We just swap things around to ensure that in the autumn term, all modules can be delivered remotely. Now, sorry. So let me just find out the, yes. So I have to pick the, yeah. Sorry about that. Now, okay, let's continue with the presentation. Yes. So now all MSc projects will go ahead as per previous years. So students will spend autumn term now with background materials, experimental design and planning, all of which can be done remotely. And in fact, in previous years, that's always been the case. During the autumn terms, MSc students would spend time reading up on the literature and maybe do a bit of planning, a bit of modeling, and the hands-on experimental parts, for those projects that require experimental components, would start typically in the spring term. Okay, so that's not different. That's no difference from what we've been doing before. Okay. Now we have exams in January as well as in the summertime. So now exams in January 2022 will take place remotely. I mean 2021. So the exam will take place remotely, and this is a college decision. Now, additional support due to this remote delivery. So we have new staff in the student office specifically hired to support digital learning. So that's one positive feature of this remote delivery. We actually have more support for our teaching. And we will also limit the time frame per day during which lectures can happen to accommodate students from different time zones. Study groups will be split into early morning or late afternoon sessions. So again, to allow us to accommodate students from different time zones. In addition, every module will have a dedicated Piazza board monitored by GTAs and course leaders to provide additional opportunity to ask questions. Now, this is again, this is yet another new innovation. So previously, not all modules had these features, but now every module would have a dedicated Piazza board, which means that students would have more opportunity to ask questions and with those questions answered by teaching assistants or course leaders. In addition, there will be an administrative piazza board so that the students can ask questions about organizational issues within the department with their courses. And on top of that, we recognize the additional stress caused by the pandemic and a remote autumn term. So in addition to several COVID-specific offers by the college, our department has secured a professional consultant who will run several classes on mindful learning and resilience in autumn term. Now, practically, the college has opened up 2,000 PCs, computers accessible via the remote desktop gateway, and further compatibility and accessibility issues have been raised with ICT, so potentially further support will be available, and we will keep you posted on that. And so there we will also have bi-weekly meetings with student reps in the autumn term so as to provide a quick and efficient feedback route. So this is, again, a new feature. In previous years, we would have a staff student committee meetings every term, but now we will have a much more frequent meeting so that we can be sure that all pressing issues will be addressed. And the department will organize opportunities for remote social interactions. Now, so that's pretty much all I wanted to say. So maybe we can go straight to questions. And when you pose questions, I forgot to add, maybe you could just say which stream you are in or which MSc program you are in so that we can direct the questions to the right person. Okay, so I will stop sharing now. And let's go here and okay. So maybe the panel members can help me to monitor the questions here. And so, yeah, so I will, a question from Maria Royal. Is it the first questions there is? I think so. So when will we be able to choose the optional subjects? Yeah, so yeah, that's a very good question. Now, this will happen at the beginning of the term. So we are having this meeting. The primary function of this meeting is to address how teaching will be delivered in the autumn term. So this question has to do with the actual how you would pick the courses, and we typically in previous years, obviously we address this at the beginning of the term. So basically we will have a welcome talk again in October, and all of these sort of logistic questions will be answered there. So the short answer is that you will get to choose your subject at the beginning of your term. Okay. And when will we, the next question is from Jacopo Hugh. When will we be able to choose the MSc individual projects? So again, you will be choosing your MSc individual projects at the beginning of the term towards November. Probably by the end of October, you will be first given a list of potential projects, and then you will have the opportunity to talk to potential supervisors. And so in a 2 weeks periods or so, and then you will pick 4 preferences. And in the past, we've been very successful in placing students in projects that they picked as their top choice. So I think almost 70% of MSc students get to do their top projects. So yeah, so that will happen at the beginning of the term. Okay, so the next question, the other panel members to jump in if you want to add any further information. Okay. So the next question is from Ella Miseli Farugia. When will exams take place and how will they take place? So we will have exams in January. So of course, how many exams the students would actually do depend on which modules they take. But typically, students would have exams in January and then in the summer terms, i.e. May, June. And in January, all exams will be remote. So that's a college decision. And for the summer exams, the plan currently is that the exams will be taken physically on campus. That's the current plan. Okay, so next question. Why are exams remote if we are on campus in January, and how will they be conducted? That's a very good question. Now, the fact that we will have remote exams in January is a college decision. Now, I was not involved in making those decisions, but I think one of the key reasons is that given the uncertainties, we would like to plan for a sort of a fixed format that the students and academics are comfortable with. And so it seems the safest option that we can see now would be a remote exam in January. So yeah, so that's why we will have the key reason again is a college decision, so we have to abide by that. Okay, so can you guarantee that later in the school year, that's from Bernard Mack, can you guarantee that later in the school year, wet labs will be continued, even if situation with respect to the pandemic will worsen? Last year, students were forced to first stop wet labs for the remainder of the school year. That's certainly true. Now, the departmental plan, as it is now, is to open our department from January onwards, which means that all hands-on and lab works will start in January. Now, if we enter into a lockdown mode again, that won't be a departmental decision, and that will potentially be a government decision or the college decision that we will have no control over. So what the only guarantee I can give you is that if the college, the government do not force us to close the campus, then lab works and hands-on modules will happen from January onwards. Okay. I don't know whether other panel members would like to add to this question. Okay. Okay. So.
Actually, I can. So in terms of the project, because generally, if the lockdown happens again, generally you can talk to your supervisor and try to adjust the project. And there are some cases in this year where the student work with PhD student or something closely, so they still get some indirect experience with the actual work, but a lot of that has to do with the government regulation. So there are room for adjusting the project. So it's not like you're set in that way and then you can't do anymore, and then that's the end of story.
Yeah, so Prof. Kitney here. Can you hear me okay? I think a lot of projects will be designed around being able to do wet lab work if the labs are open, but if not, as you've just been saying, switching more to software aspects of a project. I mean, we'll take this fully into account, but obviously the overriding issue is public health. And as Chiu Fan just said, we really don't have any control over that. That will be a decision made by the college and possibly even the UK government.
Yeah, so maybe one last thing I would like to add is that now every academic has the experience of sort of rapidly modifying the projects to accommodate the remote nature of the project. So if it should happen, I think the process would be smooth.
But I think the other point to emphasize is that, as you say, we have had some experience now, and basically students will not suffer from this process. You know, we absolutely will take into account in a major way the difficulties, you know, which are the backdrop of COVID represent.
Okay. Yeah.
I have to say for the master in human and biological robotic, I expect that actually quite a few projects will be with hardware, but at home. So variable interfaces and so on. So actually, for the projects that are finishing now, so from last year, the finishing year, quite a few students had kind of small lab at home. Of course, it's not ideal, but it's working generally well.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Great.
I think a lot of the project we have modified in such a way that you can actually do from home. Yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah.
Actually, that's an interesting challenge for us. Actually, yeah, that's interesting because this will lead to new development.
Okay, thank you. So the next question is from Maria Royal. Can we choose attending the morning, afternoon classes depending on the day? Yes, so I think we will be very flexible. So the lectures themselves there will not be multiple lecture modules, but the study groups associated to the modules, the lectures, will have morning and afternoon options. Okay, so depending on your time zone, you can certainly choose which to go to. But I would also like to emphasize that we actually have all the lectures recorded. So if you really cannot make a particular time, although I think that the lecture hours would be quite accommodating, but if you really can't go to one particular lecture, you could always watch it online again. Okay. Next question, Federico Fahi. If we are based in London, when can we collect our student ID to access the library facilities? That's a very good question. So the library is, the plan at least, is that the central library will be open when the term starts. So Jane, can you, do you have advice on the student ID?
Not on the student ID at the moment. I don't know the times of when that's going to be picked up, but I know that is being organised by the student office, so it is in process. And I have posted in the chat the up-to-date details on library services, the link to that. Also, just to make you aware, Chiu Fan, you're still sharing your screen.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, thank you. Yes, okay. Right. Okay. Is it still sharing? I guess not. Okay.
No.
Okay. Thank you. And right. So but I think we will be able to address these issues about getting your student ID. I don't think that would be a problem. Okay. The next question from Bernard Mack. Can the MSc individual project be self-proposed rather than picking one from the list? That's a very good question. Yes, you can. And in fact, that's why we have this 1 or 2 weeks period where you can talk to potential supervisors and you can use that time to formulate your own project, obviously, if you can convince someone to supervise that particular project. But yes, the answer is yes. Next question from Filippo Festinoni Bocca. Will libraries and other university facilities be open even at a reduced capacity? Yes, the answer is yes. The library, with the link just posted by Jane here, is planning to be open with study space in there with computers. It will be at a reduced capacity, at least in the autumn term, but some of the facilities will be opened on campus. Can you, the next question, Maria Royal, can you provide us with this presentation? Absolutely. So the presentation will be sent out to all the MSc cohorts. And then we have Connor Murphy, MSc in HBR. How can we get access to software through the school, specifically MATLAB? So you can search, once you're registered, you can download MATLAB as a student, but maybe I can direct the question to Etienne since he's the head of the MSc in HBR. Etienne, do you have anything to add to that question?
Sorry. Okay, so now I'm on. No, I don't have much to add. So, I mean, so MATLAB of course, is used for many courses. Depending on the courses, so for example, in the project-based course that I am teaching, so students use different software, and they are provided by the department, in fact. So it's already organized, and I guess in Huai-Ti Lean course is the same probably, and so on. So it's already all organized, so the software is ready for the student.
Okay. Thank you. So the next question is from Niha Katsula. Where can we access the module description and information? So Jane, maybe I can, do you know the answer to this question?
No, not at the moment, but
Yeah.
I will find it before the end of this call, or otherwise I will send it out to the students.
Yeah. So in previous years, obviously, you get all this information when you come to the campus. But most of the information is already obviously set in stone. We know what they are, and so maybe potentially we can provide those information before term starts. Okay. So the next questions from
sorry, I want to add something on this.
Yeah.
So. Actually, so most description on the website on the content of the courses should be correct. However, there are a few small things that we saw, for example, this morning that will be fixed in the next days. So you can expect that in the next few days, let's say from early next week, the website is fully correct.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So yes, so next question, Ting Chen. Will there still be voluntary research projects or job opportunities such as TA for MSc students? I think that won't be possible in the autumn term, but I think it will be possible in the spring term and the summer term. Obviously, in fact, personally, when MSc students ask me about voluntary research projects, my immediate response is that the course itself is already very challenging, and I would advise them to think twice about doing extra things. But of course, I think those options will be available. Yeah. Are there other panel members who would like to add information to this question? Okay, right. So the next question is Eugene Liu. When will we be able to choose the optional courses? Yeah, so again, that will happen at the beginning of the term. So in fact, you have, I would say you've got lots of time to pick your optional courses. You can even audit multiple courses. You can sit in at multiple modules, and then you can do your selections I don't know the exact cutoff time, but I think I will come back to you on these questions. Okay. So the next question. So Huai-Ti just posted something. Huai-Ti, you want to say the computing service software? So that's where students can download their softwares, right? That's what you posted. Okay, great. Yes. Yeah. So the next question is from Federico. For HBR, can we get a syllabus on all the modules, or where can we find this information? Yeah, so Etienne, would you like to address these questions? So it's about the syllabus on all the modules. Would you say that most of them are already online? And
sorry, you asked me something.
yeah, so Federico, a cohort of the MSc HBR, asked about a syllabus on all the modules, or where they can find the information.
Okay, so the content, so basically, as you have seen, so there are some core modules, for example, machine learning and geomechanics, and you have optional courses, and in these optional courses there is a possibility to take one of the project-based courses, and on that one on the website, the one of biological robotics from Huai-Ti is missing right now in the website, but it will be soon, as told. Now for the content, I think it should be all there, but I will check after if not. Generally, I would say if you don't, because sometimes it's so especially at the beginning, it may be not completely easy to navigate on the website. So I would advise, if you want to look some information, you can also go to the lecture and see. Normally there is a description of the course by the lecture website. But I will check that the description are complete.
Okay, thank you, Etienne. So the next question is from Shanza Karaman. For fee payment, I have been emailing student lending with no replies. There's someone to help with that, as the deadline is very close. So Jane, do you have any advice on this?
Right, so for fee payment, I've been emailing student lending with no replies. There's someone to help with this. Deadline is very close. Unfortunately, you will just, they are doing the best they can. So if you have emailed tuition fees, they will get back to you. There's nothing more that we can do. I mean, you can email admissions direct and we can try to accelerate the process. But if you've been in email contact with them, they are trying their best to get through these things and will contact you accordingly.
I mean, I think, if I might add, I think it's important that you keep an email trail handy so that you can show that you have been trying.
Okay, thank you. So the next question is from Maria Royal. Last year, the neurotechnology stream of MSc Biomedical Engineering had 8 subjects in the autumn term and 2 in the spring term. Has this changed for this year to be more balanced? Okay, yeah. So Huai-Ti, sorry for putting you on the spot here. Do you have any, can you tackle this question?
Yes, so I think last year it has to do with the change of the compulsory module, so that's why a lot of compulsory modules in autumn. So I will double check the scheduling because we were also trying to move module around due to this putting hands-on in the spring. So I'll note it down and get back to you on this very quickly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Huai-Ti. Okay, so next question is from Jacob Kritikos. Hello, everyone. Jacob here. Okay, nice to meet you. Thank you. Concerning the individual project, when we are allowed to discuss with supervisor potential projects, as a department, you will prompt us to supervisors, or will yes. Okay, so there are 3 questions. So the first question is about projects. So at the beginning of the term, you will receive a list of projects, and then every academic will set up office hours or potential, it will be remote. So during that time or by appointment, you can talk to potential supervisors. And so the short answer is that yes, we will give you a list of projects, but as another question pointed out already, you could potentially formulate your own projects. Okay, so and there will be a deadline for you to submit your preferences. You will pick 4 projects that you like, and then we will assign those projects to the students. Okay, so that's question number 1. Question 2, concerning programming tools, MATLAB is obligatory, or can we use Python instead? So now, for different modules, some module will specifically ask you to code in a specific language for training purpose. So, but in terms of if you're thinking about projects and the programming how you would do the sort of the software bit in your project, then I can imagine that it will be up to you and the supervisor to decide with regards to what programming language you would use. So I'm a computational biologist myself. So my project students are free to pick whatever software they want to use, because all I care about is the simulations that come out of it, and it doesn't really matter what program the students use. You would hope that to produce those simulation results. Okay.
So I would comment a bit on that. I think so. If you are proficient in Python, I guess that you would have no problem with MATLAB. So and in some courses probably MATLAB is compulsory, but it's generally relatively restricted what is required in terms of programming. So. But definitely, if you are able to program in Python, I don't think you would have any problem with the simple MATLAB we would require.
Yeah. Okay. So third part of the question concerning journal clubs, how will those take place? And because from my perspective, the main goal of journal club is to collaborate with others in the same place using the same tools as computers and paperwork. And now how will it take place digitally? Thank you. Yes, so we've got all the journal clubs leaders, or pretty much all the journal club leaders here. Maybe I should ask them to comment on this. Who would like to go first?
Well, I could. Shall I go first? So I run the Journal Club for Medical Physics, and we will be running the Journal Club in a really rather similar way to the way we would normally run it, which means that basically we have 2 students who present for 8 minutes for and against a particular paper. So we give you a research paper and choose the 2 students. One talks for, one against, and then there's a 3-minute question time, which is led by the academic staff, but other students can ask questions if there is time. And we usually process about 2 or 3 papers, or so 2 or 3 groups of 2 per session. So the session lasts 50 minutes. I see absolutely no reason why that shouldn't work well this year virtually, because it's a format I think that does lend itself to virtual presentation. I think from the point of view of the Medical Physics Journal Club, the one thing I would stress is that it's important that when you do your presentation, you do it in PowerPoint. We don't support other platforms for the presentation because it's just too difficult, and I think that's particularly true actually of the virtual journal club that will happen this year. But you will be given full information of it later on. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Are others wanting to add to these questions?
Yeah, I mean, just to say that I'll be doing the journal club for the engineering for biomedicine. It's quite a small group, so we'll probably have a fairly sort of flexible approach, because otherwise you may end up doing a lot of presenting. So we'll sort of see how it goes.
And maybe I'll just add one more thing. I think a part of the interactions for Journal Club is interacting with sort of your cohort and with us, but also sort of individually in pairs. And so I guess most of us run journal clubs where you're partnered up with a particular person in the cohort and you present together. And so those interactions, I think we're trying to facilitate as much as we can, so you still have sort of the experience of being in class. And the faculty has also set up a team to help basically make it easier to communicate with one another through messaging boards and other communications like on Teams, so that it hopefully be very similar to like an in-person journal club, and won't be very much different at all. So.
Okay, thank you. So the next question from Zach Galibov. How much contact and access can we have with the department academics facilities after we graduate, considering a large amount of the year could be online? If so, how long do we have access for as an alumni? It's a very interesting question. So I would say you have as much access as any of our alumni. And I guess it's not specific enough for me to know what kind of access you have in mind. But I would say
there's Chiu Fan, there's a follow-up further down in the chat with regards, I think it's from the same person, access to the career service. I don't know if you want to address that.
Career service, yes. So obviously you will have access to the career service, just like any of our previous students and current students. Yeah. So I don't know whether the career service will stop helping our students after they graduate, but that's something that I will find out and get back to you. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Jane. Okay, so next question from Jan Lee. Is it okay that I don't pay tuition fee after the deadline because I'm waiting for a reply from Student Lending? Yes, I guess I have to refer to Jane for this question.
Okay, I mean, with tuition fees, I mean, I'm managing admissions rather than tuition fees. If you are having problems with regards your tuition fees and people aren't getting back to you, it is obviously important that deposits are paid on time and that you've received invoices. I think there's a couple of questions there. If you feel that time has lapsed, you can email us in admissions and we can try to accelerate the process to make sure that you've received an invoice or you've received the information that you need to be able to process the fees. And as Dick was saying earlier, make sure that you keep a track of your email trail related to this. At these times, the tuition fees office is inundated with emails, so the time to get back to you is slightly slower than I think they're aiming for a couple of days, but it might be slightly longer than that. Okay. Hopefully that's helpful.
Thank you, Jane. Okay, so the next question from Michelle. Hello, I'm enrolled in biomechanics stream. However, I would like to learn more coding skills before school officially starts. Would it be possible to be enrolled in a pre-session programming course? So I'll ask Sam to answer this question because he's the lead of biomechanics. But I would just add that there's a maths pre-session mathematics course that I'm sure all of you have information about, and but you are specifically asking about a programming course. Do we? So Sam?
Sure. I mean, not that I know of that if there's any sort of college-sponsored pre-programming courses. I would say that there are plenty of online resources these days for if you're depending on your skill level, especially if you're just starting, just to get started in programming. And a lot of those skills are translatable between languages, right? So I would encourage you to look online. And if you have trouble as you go through, your advisors can help guide you on programming issues as your research carries forward, for instance.
Thank you, Sam. Okay, so the next question is Jacob Kritikos. I just got used to it. So sorry, is it referring to something that's that you asked before? So maybe I don't quite get that question, so that comment, so maybe I'll just skip it. I apologize. Please to elaborate, Jacob Kritikos, if you would like me to address that later on. Okay, so Amalia, is it required from us to know any specific programming language like Python or MATLAB? Now, I would say no, that will not be a prerequisite for the modules, and there are courses that will help you to develop those skills. Are other module stream leaders, would you like to add to that question? Okay.
I guess it depends on the course, right? I'm not sure actually. I think it depends on the course. Probably quite a few courses use MATLAB, and I mean, understand me well. I make no money with MATLAB, but on the other hand, I really believe that most engineering is using MATLAB, and it's a good thing to be able to do something with MATLAB, at least some function. But I guess really it depends more on the course, and so it has to be seen with each lecture. I assume most use MATLAB, but some of them may use other languages. I'm not sure actually.
Okay. Right. Okay. So the next question from Ella Misili Farugia. Do you have any advice on how we can prepare for the course before it starts in October? That's a very general question. So who would like to chip in?
I think we actually discussed it in staff meeting before in terms of releasing some syllabus and reading list, and then actually it might be good to get a sense of how much like people actually are interested in that, because we probably could actually put some reading lists together.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yes. Yeah.
I have a question on that. So for some courses, are for example, the slides already open to the student or not yet?
I don't think they are enrolled on Blackboard yet. So which means that most modules obviously have those slides ready because people taught the same course last year. But I don't think that students have access to those slides. But once they start, they will have access to all those materials on Blackboard. Blackboard is just a software, online software where you can access all the PowerPoint, all the lecture notes, all the study group problem sets and solutions, etc. So once they are enrolled in October, they will have access to those information. So here, I guess the sentiment seems to be that people would like some of those material beforehand, and that yes, I think that's something that we should address definitely.
Okay, so I guess. So I don't think you have to prepare anything special before starting. And now, of course, if you're interested, then so what you could read is all what you will not have the opportunity to read when you study. So something that is really interesting you or fundamental knowledge. I don't know in mathematics, let's say, or whatever, or biology. Something that you think is really fundamental and you would like to read it before, because when you are in the studies, you may not have 1 month to read something. That's one thing. Now, if you want specifically on one course, you could contact the lecturer and ask her or him whether you want to pass you the slide or something like that. But in general, I don't think you have to prepare anything. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So the next question from Hannah Chung. I haven't received an invoice from the tuition fees department and my offer is conditional up until I pay it. Do I just continue waiting for the invoice and should I email the relevant department office? So Jane, do you have any thoughts on these questions?
I think I've addressed those questions. Essentially, the tuition fees are trying their best to get back within a certain time frame. And if you feel that you need it accelerated, we can try our best if you email us at Bioengineering Postgraduate Admissions.
So they can just wait for that, and they I guess the question is, can they start the course if they never get a reply? No, because it's a condition of their offer. So they need to fulfill the conditions of their offer. Okay. So the next question from Zihao Wang. Hello there. I would like to know that can we still access the career service provided by the department or school in autumn term? Absolutely. So that will be remote. I'm sure, so I think all service potentially physical service, well, physical attendance would be certainly under the social distancing rule. But I think the service will be can be provided remotely. But let me double check on that on this question and get back to you. Thank you. For the next question from Sarah, for HBR, will you provide us with the necessary hardware for our projects? So
okay, so yeah, so it's very simple. This will fully depend on the supervisor, right? So the supervisor with whom you will do your project will provide you with the hardware, or if it's not, if it's only simulation, with the environment for the simulation. So yeah, so it fully depends the project you are on and so the supervisor you are with. So to add a bit on that, so basically for the project in the HBR, so there are projects from people in the department and also from people outside of the department, in other departments, because robotics is fundamentally multidisciplinary, and so we have something that is called the Robotic Forum at Imperial, that is grouping the people doing robotics across the college, and then this colleague proposed projects, and so far we're happy to take the students from bioengineering because the students were very good. So so you should look around. Actually, that's something. So if so, you could look at the Robotic Forum, and there is a website on that. So Imperial Robotic Forum. And you could look who is doing what in robotics, and you might contact these people if you think you would like to do a project with them. If both of you, so if the supervisor and you agree on a project, it could be registered under our masters.
Okay, great. So the next is a comment from Ludain. So this is so it's for Michelle. So there's a link to a useful website to learn Python. Thank you very much. I think that could potentially be useful for many people here. Thank you. Okay, so the next question from Alex Scott Simons. Yes, reading this would be great. Yes, and we will. I think we after this call, I will send out an email, collect a bunch of potential reading materials, and then I'll get back to you. Thank you. Yes, so the next comment is the same. Okay, the same thing. And Huai-Ti. Okay, so Huai-Ti said that yeah, so you will follow up on the compulsory modules in autumn term. Yeah. Okay. So the next question from Maria Royal, are there more remote exams during the autumn term apart from the final ones in January? Now, so there are only 2 exam periods. So all exams are either in January or in the summer term. So May, June, potentially July. Now, however, some module may have coursework that are marked, are graded. So in terms of assessment can happen in autumn term, but exams will be done remotely in January. Okay. So the next question from Chen Su Liu, can MSc students get the chance of changing majors from engineering for biomedicine to HBR? Now, so I think it would be difficult to change from engineering for biomedicine to HBR because the admission criteria are different. Now, in the past, we did have some cases where students changed from biomedical engineering to HBR, and and also across streams. But these will be dealt with at a sort of individual level. So there will, but that's, I guess the short answer would be it will depend on whether you have a physical sciences degree or engineering degree in order to get into HBR. So so if you want to look into this option, then you should contact me and Jane, and we will look into that. Okay. So the next question is the same question from the same person. The next one is Lee Wan Shah. For biomedical engineering, when can we choose the stream, and can we change the stream after study? So you have chosen your stream, I think. Jane, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, they would have chosen their stream. That's what
Okay.
they would have applied for.
Yes. So you know which stream you are going to. On the other hand, yes, as I said, there's potentially you can request to change stream after you enroll. And again, we will look at it at an individual basis, and also depending on whether the stream is already full. So there are other circumstantial conditions involved. Okay, so the next question, Yi Wan. I would like to buy a new laptop, and is there a recommended configuration? Like Windows gaming laptops with better GPU or MacBook Pro. Yes, I personally don't have any opinion on this. I don't know whether other panel members have any thoughts on this. Recommended laptop? Yeah. Jane, is there a college kind of Q&A on this issue?
In actual fact, the only information I have with regards to specifications for computers is essentially something that has a camera and that's less than 4 years old should be absolutely fine. That's all I have with regards to specifications for computers from Central College. And just to follow up also on the previous question, there are a few people within the biomedical engineering MSc course that haven't chosen their stream.
Okay. So sorry to new one shot. Yes. So when will they pick their stream, Jane? Or maybe this is yeah.
I'm not 100% sure of the answer to that question, but I can look, and they can email us, and we can work through that with the individual.
Yeah. Thank you. So the next question from Maria Royal: is there any Imperial platform where we can check a record of our invoice payment? So sorry, Jane. I guess I have to
tuition fees again. Again, you would have to get in touch with tuition fees. I honestly don't know the answer to that question. So it's with tuition fees that lies, and I'm seeing that underneath that, and I'm conscious of time as well. Are there Facebook groups for each stream cohort, or are these to be organised by students? Any social media platforms that I'm aware of have been organised by students. We do have a bioengineering society, which I know that there's MSc reps. We have MSc student reps as well, and I can see if I can find the link to that, or you will be able to find it on our website as well.
Okay, thank you, Jane. So it seems like okay. Sorry, let me get back to the next question. Is from Zach Galibov. Could be okay. Sorry, that's Jane addressed that question already. So the next question is from Shatsa Karaman. Should we declare a stream, or is it just when we choose our courses and projects? Now, I think like what Jane was saying, so most of you would have chosen a stream by now. So if you have not done so, then I think we, like what Jane said, we will have to address that at an individual level. Okay, Jane, do you have anything to add to that?
Sorry, trying to find the unmute button. No, I don't have anything to add to that. I think if you email us directly as individuals, we will liaise with you directly rather than on this platform.
Yeah. So the next question is a important one from Alex Scott Simons. How are student reps selected? So basically, the student rep will be selected by the students, and there will be some sort of opportunity for them, for the incoming cohorts to get to know each other, and through a election mechanism, the students reps will be selected. And obviously, the student reps are always important, and potentially even more important in this incoming years, because we will have more interactions with the student reps. But that will happen when term starts. Yeah. Okay, and you will get further information regarding the selection process. Okay, so the next question, Maria. From okay, regarding the platform teacher. Okay, so I think it's a answer to Maria, I think, about checking invoice payments, right? So thank you very much. Thank you very much for the link. Yes, thank you. Okay, so the next question from Christos Dolopikos for biomedical engineering: when will a timetable be published? I'm mainly concerned with the distribution of the module per teaching period. Thanks in advance. Yes, so the timetable is is almost ready, but I cannot give you a date yet. But we will send out the timetable as soon as we have the timetable confirmed. So one of the difficulties is that we do offer modules taught by other departments. So there's the complicated process of this, not only formulating our own timetable to make sure nothing clash, but we also have to make sure that the timetable works complementarily with other departments' timetable. But we will send out the timetable as soon as we can. So the next questions from Nick. so Nick has to go. So yeah, sure. Yeah, thank you, Nick. And there's is there another comment on this? Okay. So it seems like we've exhausted all the questions now. So thank you very much again, and I will close these meetings, and we've got things, homework to do, and the number one key issue is the reading list. And thank you very much for your input, and we will definitely get back to you on that. And so, there's some incoming. Okay, so I think there's a thank you for attending. And so we very much look forward to seeing you online in the autumn term, and hopefully in person in the spring term. Okay. Bye bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.